Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca and I'm a Muslim convert. Today I'm going to be talking about how I overcame depression in 2021. A little trigger warning, this isn't about how religion cured my depression, it's more about my mental health journey. So let's get right into it. In 2019 I was struggling really badly with depression. I didn't get out of bed, I didn't go out because I was too anxious and I just felt an overwhelming sadness that prevented me from going out. I had no energy, I was just crying all the time, like I was in a really bad place. I used to tell myself that I was a bad person, and this is why I was so depressed, because I was a bad Muslim, I was a bad person, and God was punishing me for being a bad Muslim. Then I used to think, oh, if I pray more, I'll feel better. If I am a better Muslim, I'll feel better. And I told myself that my faith must be weak, and that's why I'm so depressed and sad. I didn't even believe in depression. Like, I just thought my depression was, I'm a bad Muslim, so I feel bad. And that my sadness was just a result of me being weak in faith. It wasn't until I met my husband in 2021 and he took me to the hospital to see a psychiatrist that I actually believed in mental health and depression. I started thinking that, hey, maybe I don't feel so bad because I'm a bad Muslim. Maybe I feel bad because I have a mental health condition. Maybe it's chemical or biological or environmental or whatever you want to call it. Maybe I have a sick brain and not a sick heart. When I went to the psychiatrist, I wasn't depressed as per se. I was experiencing the manic part of my bipolar, which ultimately led to the diagnosis of my depression and my bipolar. It wasn't until about 4 months after I saw the psychiatrist that I became depressed. Like, I was crying every day, I was crying at work, on the way to work, at home, and like I was trying to do teacher training, but I had to leave teacher training because my depression and anxiety was so bad, it just became impossible to do the job. Again, I told myself that I was a bad person, that I was awkward, that people didn't like me, and that I deserved to feel bad. But this time when I became depressed, I decided to go down the psychiatric route as opposed to the religious route to cure my depression. I started therapy, I read about depression. I did start medication when I went to the hospital, but I started new medication to cure the depression. And alhamdulillah, after I made these changes, I haven't had severe depression in about 3 years now. I'm so grateful to God for this, and for God showing me that it wasn't because I was a bad Muslim or a bad person, but it was actually an illness. So if you're watching this and you think your depression is because you're a bad person, it's not. Depression is an illness of the brain and not the heart. In terms of what I learned in therapy, it was basically just to question your thoughts. So when I used to think something, I used to think, oh, I think it, so therefore it's true. So I think I'm bad, so I must be bad. But just because you think something, that doesn't make it true. I actually learned to question those negative thoughts and started to have a more positive outlook. There's one metaphor which I find quite useful when thinking about depression, and that's the metaphor of a poison parrot. So this is the idea that when we're depressed, we have this poison parrot in our brain that has no logic or rationale. It just repeats horrible things like you're bad, you're worthless, this sort of thing. But the parrot has no rationale, and this is what depression does. It just repeats things to you with no rationale, without any logic. But we can say, I'm not listening to you, stupid parrot, I like me, and that's what's important. I think therapy really helped me to cope with depression and to some extent overcome it. But what really worked for me was depression. So I became depressed in October 2021. And it wasn't until I started the medication for depression in January time that I started feeling better, having better energy and not dealing with constant self-loathing thoughts. The therapy helped me to respond to the thoughts, but I think the medication is what stopped them from coming, at least from me. When I took my medication, it was like I became a different person. I wasn't depressed anymore. I could do a job, something I wasn't able to do when mental health was bad. I'd go out without panic attacks. Like, the medication for me was life-changing. Like, in my adult life, I wouldn't go a year without severe depression. And then I took medication, and I've been 3 years without severe depression. So alhamdulillah, I do mostly attribute that to the medication. Obviously, I still get weeks and days where I'm down. I have days where I have self-loathing thoughts. But alhamdulillah, it's nothing like it was before. At the end of this video, I just wanted to share a book that that helped me overcome my depression in October 2021. It's called Overcoming Depression, and it's part of the Reading Well series. This is kind of how you find it. So it's, that doesn't show. It says Robinson. But this book really helped me to overcome my depression. And I think for people with like low-grade depression that doesn't require therapy, that doesn't require medication, I think this book would be really good. You can get it from your local library if you're in the UK as part of like the Reading Well scheme, which is why certain mental health books. including this one, are included as part of the library for free. This isn't a paid promotion or anything like that. I don't have enough followers for a paid promotion, but this is just something that helped me when I was experiencing depression. If this reaches even one person who is experiencing depression and thinks they're a bad Muslim, I'll be really happy, and I've made a difference just to help one person. And on that final note, thank you for watching my video. I hope it was remotely helpful, particularly if you or someone you know struggles with depression. So this is a book, it's called Overcoming Depression, and I think it would be really useful for people with like low-grade depression that don't need therapy, that don't need medication, but are just kind of low-grade depression. They can kind of read this book and it'll help them to get over it. You can get this book from your local library if you live in the UK, because there is a Reading Well scheme where certain mental health books you can get free from the library, and this is one of the books that you can get free. So I'm just going to show you it. It's got Reading Well, and it's by Paul. I can't say the second name, I've got dyslexia. But I'm going to link in the bio. It won't let me link the actual website, but I'm just going to write like Reading Well, and then you can go and have a look at it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was even remotely helpful. If this video helps like one person to see that they're not a bad Muslim or they're not a bad person, it is just depression, then honestly I'll be so happy. I just want to help one person.